Jenna Beck is apparently an influential Bernie Sanders supporter from Orange County, California. We are in complete agreement. The so-called ecosystem is contrived. We'll define the ecosystem as a tree branching off. Let's say for this part of the tree, we'll start with Cenk Uygur at the top. We'll branch off into Jimmy Dore and Graham Elwood. And the ecosystem are all these other suspicious people with no verified backgrounds, no resumes, nothing. Then voila, they become big players on social media. They end up with thousands of subscribers. It seems rigged, it seems planted. So myself and Jenna Beck are in agreement that is contrived, but we're in disagreement of what exactly is going on. These are theories. These have to be the two most obvious theories. She thinks they are GOP disruptors. I think they are Cointelpro. I've been unable to download from YouTube. I'm not sure if that's a glitch or if I have been blocked from grabbing these videos. I was able to plug the YouTube video address into a web page and out would pop the video to just simply download it. I'm still able to download from Twitter. Autumn Sword recommended I check out Jenna Beck at Twitter. It was easy to find her account. She is at OC Bulldog. Neither of our theories are new. There's the deep state Cointelpro side. It's always been there. We know it. Then there is this, the GOP faking as progressive in order to keep down the better half of the two-party system. The Democrats have historically been the lesser of two evils. I'm not going to debate in this video whether they are Cointelpro or GOP disruptors, as Jenna defines them. I just want to present the debate. I think it's important to stop at this point with the affirmative agreement that this is rigged, that this is fake. Now what that means, how is it rigged, how is it faked, or who is rigging it, why is it fake, why are they rigging it, that takes a lot of hard work. It takes real investigative skills. It takes capacities that myself personally have none. I can't go out into society, into the libraries, or interview people, this or that. I don't have that. I'm not on the phones calling people. I'm not checking records. Like, I can figure out a guy like H.A. Goodman is totally fake, but I can't figure out what his real name is. I think he's the son of CIA agent Melvin Goodman. I have a knack for noticing similarities. I may not be that good in give and take conversation because of Asperger's, but I have other skills. To have Asperger's doesn't mean we don't have empathy, that we can't understand what it feels like for others. It's more like a time delay. It's more like we get focused because of our brain wiring. It's nothing personal. We're not doing it on purpose. We're not trying to be rude. I was able to download from Twitter. I can download off of Daily Mail if there's anything over there good. I never take off ad blocker, but I'm still able to get to Daily Mail by hitting the X button before they freeze the screen. I go there looking for videos. That's what I'll do. That'll be my plan moving forward for video blogging, to include videos. If the YouTube thing doesn't work itself out, I will stop parsing the ecosystem videos on YouTube unless I can find them elsewhere, like on Twitter. Right here, I'll show these brief clips. I have two of them. This is Jenna Beck responding to a Sally Hunt 666. What's up with that? 666. Get that out of my mug. I don't like that crap. So yes, it's obvious that there's something weird going on with Fiorella. I went into the Jafari Jones story, the BLM 757 guy. I was able to get film on that, and it's in the archives for my channel. That's bizarre. This stuff is why I think they're Cointelpro. If they were GOP disruptors, they would be a bit more effective in building popularity.
Words don't mean much anymore. J. Edgar Hoover was one of the giants. He personified integrity. He personified honor. He personified courage. He personified loyalty. The greatness of Edgar Hoover will remain inseparable from the greatness of the organization he created and gave his whole life to build.
They wouldn't alienate so many people. They wouldn't sound so ridiculous. Jenna Beck has an interesting article out there on the internet. It's at a website called undercoveredmagazine.com. It should be easy to find for anyone looking for it. I am no longer thinking in regards as a teacher where I need to cross every T and dot the I's. I will always be a teacher. Once a teacher, always a teacher. But I no longer fret. I no longer care if there's imperfection. I get stronger by the day, by the month, by the year. But I'm not going to digress into philosophy. We can't take anything with us. The key is to make it a better world. How any one of us can aid in that process, that is one of the mysteries. I was easily able to find that article. It pops up, straight Convo Couch, Jenna Beck, or Undercovered Magazine. I'm sure it'll show up. I used to love Twitter, but only from my own personal use of the platform. I used all my skills. I was able to have a decent page, I think. But they banned me. They deleted everything. They didn't just ban, they delete. I go back to Twitter here, and even though it's a little bit interesting and I find it intriguing what Jenna Beck may be tweeting or what her overall shtick is, or if there's any, I don't want to miss out on anything she might be aiding here. This Jackson Hinkle guy, I never knew who he was. I guess he's a politician in Orange County who is linking up with the Jimmy Dore ecosystem. I do notice that everything is contrived. They come up with the same script. Jenna Beck, if you clicked on that YouTube video she puts into the tweet, it goes to one of those when all the local news channels repeat the same story. We've all seen that, right? Word for word, it's scripted. So sure, this Jimmy Dore ecosystem is completely rigged and scripted. We're in agreement on that. It's not even a conspiracy theory. Just watch a little bit of it. Where's Suzanne Murphy? She was always on, talking about we must force the vote. I looked into her. I find out she's a CEO. She's no common citizen journalist. She's not even from Boston. They try to make it seem she's from Boston. Turns out she's from Western Mass. That's closer to Connecticut and New York, I bet, than Boston. It's a whole different state over there. Massachusetts is there's like a third of it. To the east is all of it. You got Cape Cod towards west of Boston a little bit. But otherwise, those other people might as well be in another state. Richard Medhurst, I've seen him a few times. He's a clown, definitely. What is around his neck? It's ridiculous for Jimmy Dore to go on all these backwater channels. He's going on the Vanguard. I looked into the Vanguard. They're high school graduates, if that. All these people are military. I heard Pasta, I forget on which show, I wanted to download it and share it. He said he was in the Navy. They're all from the military. They're all pro-military. I checked out Medicating Normal for the first time in a long time. It's got nothing to do with politics, but it was for the psychiatric pill controversy. That Angie Peacock woman is still putting on pro-military stuff. I was just into the topic of psychiatry and those pills. It turned out she's a military shill, and I exposed her. These people are military shills. They're all military. I'm not seeing how that contributes to the idea they are GOP infiltrating the left. Sounds to me like Cointelpro. The last screenshot for today has Jonathan Mayorga guest hosting on the most recent Convo Couch. I think that signifies he has been outed as a police informant. The same thing happened to Tim Pool. When that happens, it becomes very dangerous for them to keep filming at these events. I think it is now the time where Jonathan Mayorga is going to be turned into an internet personality. I think we're going to see a lot more of them. I think that's what they said today, or when this show got done yesterday. They're reading off of scripts. It's all scripted. I don't know if they're using teleprompters. I found one video, a woman's explaining how we can turn our monitors into teleprompters. And they'll just scroll down and you can read it. Fiorella must be in shock. I've outed her as reading off of a teleprompter. She's very obvious. I proved she's an actress. I said follow her eyes. So she's looking to her left, probably below the microphone where Jonathan is sitting. She's looking underneath. So there's something going on in which Fiorella Mayorga, or Mayorkas, whatever their name is, whatever their real name is, she was reading off of a script. There's no debating it. I can see her. I'm watching her eyes. I don't have to see what they're hiding from us to know that she's looking at something. You gotta think like Columbo, Peter Falk Columbo, or Joe Pesci was Vincent Gambini. The beauty of life is freedom. It's about thinking for yourself. Ooh, Jennifer Aniston. Because I titled those screenshots as Jenna Beck, and if I go one too further, it goes to the clickbait stuff that I've been trying to, like I'll make it seem that I'm making a social commentary on Courtney Stott and on non-binary or binary. I don't think I even know what that means. Is non-binary this or that, or binary? So I probably mixed up those phrases. Jennifer Aniston must be non-binary. She kind of looks like Courtney Stott, but enough of that. I don't know if I'm going to alienate the women, or maybe the women don't care. They see this and they're like, well, he's just another typical guy. Women have a totally different view of sexuality and nature than the male. They're actually a bit more lucky than us in the ability to turn it off. It's tough being a bloke, I'll admit it. That's that for screenshots. I already must have shared. See, I'm going through the audio. Systematic, I'm very mechanical. So you must have already seen the Fiorella as fake activist on a bullhorn. I've got one other clip to share. This is Vanguard interviewing Noam Chomsky. I also found this off of Jenna's Twitter. Vanguard was asking Noam what he thought of the force the vote thingy. Noam basically batted them down and said, you gotta look at reality. That was Noam's response. That force the vote stuff was very heavy-handed. End of story. Case closed. That's the way it is. That's the way it was. Period.
It is important. That's why we're out here fighting for those people who mock this as a right-wing talking point, who mock the deep state, who pretend that the deep state isn't real and hasn't been real for decades. They literally say, oh, you're a right-wing, you're a right-wing Nazi for talking about the deep state.
One of the more fracturing and extremely divisive debates in recent memory occurred over this idea called force the vote, which sought to pressure progressive congresspeople into using their leverage to essentially threaten Speaker Pelosi's reelection, and as a result, potentially get some policy concessions, or at very least a floor vote on Medicare for all. If you paid attention at all to this debate, did you have an opinion on the strategy? And do you think that elected progressives, congresspeople like Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez or Ro Khanna, who believe in policies like Medicare for all and a Green New Deal, have a responsibility to be fighting to push President Joe Biden and his administration even harder by using their leverage in instances like this, or to hold up key bills in order to get policy concessions?
Let's take a look at the real world, not a dream world, the world we live in. Suppose you manage to push Pelosi to say, let's have a vote on Medicare for all. And in the Senate, push Schumer to have it. We know exactly what's going to happen. 50 Republicans will vote against it. A large number of Democrats will vote against it. 2, certainly, Manchin and Sinema, probably plenty of others. So what we're saying is, let's do something to be defeated. Is that a strategy? I mean, it's nice to say, I want this, but we're not children.